Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about fixed income securities part 2. Fixed income securities part 2. So last time we looked at a contract that we buy at price P, and then after one time period it gives us $A. And then through the weak arbitrage condition we determined that the price of entering such a contract should be A over 1 plus R. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at a very related contract where we're going to enter it at time equals 0 again, and then at time equals 1 we're going to receive C1, and then at time equals 2 we're going to receive C2, and then at time n we're going to receive Cn dollars. So how should we again try to price this portfolio? Well, again, we're going to construct how should we price this contract? Again, we're going to construct a portfolio where all future cash flows are greater than or equal to 0, and then apply the weak arbitrage condition to develop an upper bound for the price of this contract. So let's take a look. So at time equals 0, this is the, here's my portfolio. Okay. We're going to purchase the contract. It's going to cost us P. Okay. Then I should mention also there's a cash flow at C0 that we get as well. So that's part of the contract. So immediately as we buy the contract, we get a cash flow C0. So there's our contract P. Then we subtract off C0 because we just got a C0. And then at the same time, we're going to borrow C1 over 1 plus R, where R is the interest rate. Okay, and then we're also going to borrow C2 over 1 plus R squared, and then we're going to keep on borrowing for every single however long, how many n's there are. So Cn over 1 plus R to the n. Okay, so then at time equals 1, let's try to look at the cash flow. So what is the cash flow? I guess I use C1 here. So since we borrowed, we have to pay back C1 here, right? And taking into account the interest rate. And then our contract gives us C1. So our contract gives us C1, that's minus C1, and then we have to pay back, I think it's plus here, and then we have to pay back C1. And then our contract here gives us C2, and then at time period 2, we have to pay back minus C2, and so on. And so all of these cash flows are all greater than or equal to 0. Therefore, we can apply the weak arbitrage to determine that P minus C0 minus, and then all of these are borrowing, right? So they basically they borrow. So at time equals 0, we have money because we borrowed it, right? That's the idea. So that's why this is equal to C1 over 1 plus R minus Cn over 1 plus R. And again, here we're applying the weak arbitrage condition to determine that the price of this contract should be greater than or equal to the sum C, probably K, K from 1 to N, divided by 1 plus K, 1 plus R to the power of K. Okay, so then again, we're going to use the same logic that we used in the previous lecture, where instead we're going to now sell the contract and lend. And this assumes that we can both borrow and lend, and using the same interest rate, we get an upper bound on the price of the contract, and it's the exact same thing. Therefore, we can conclude that the price of the contract is equal to this thing. Okay, so now we didn't go over this last time, but what if the borrowing and the lending rate are different? So this is RL and then RB. So, oof. Um, so actually, often in um, in economies, right, it's actually more expensive to borrow than it is to lend. So it's the when you lend money, it's cheaper, right? So borrowing is more expensive than lending. Right, I did that wrong. RL is less than RB. And so I'm not going to go over this, but you literally use the exact same logic and you determine that P then is greater than or equal to. So since in the first portfolio, we had to borrow at, so we're going to borrow. So it'll be lower bounded by CK over 1 plus RB, I think. And then upper bounded by 1 plus RL to the K, and then obviously some summation. So now where's the price of this contract actually if it's just bounded by these two, and these might possibly be different numbers? Well, the answer is it's somewhere in the middle according to supply and demand. If there's a lot of people that are asking to borrow, or then it'll be closer to the lending side. Yeah, it just depends on supply and demand. That is what I'm told. Depends on supply and demand. Okay. So finally, we're going to talk about, I think, two more instruments that I didn't know about. So what is an annuity? Annuity. Damn. Annuity. Well, an annuity is where you receive, it's a contract, again at a mystery price P, where you receive $8 for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. Okay, so then very similarly, according to all the logic we've gone over so far, it's bounded above and then bounded below by the same value. Therefore, it's equal to this sum. So again, this is for the rest of your life. It's A over 1 plus R to the K. And this is a geometric series, so it sums to A over R. So again, this R is like probably small, right? Like 0.02 or something. So this is like huge. But it turns out this is actually not an unbounded value. You can actually pay something to get money for the rest of your life, right? If that makes sense. So then let me see what the name of the other one is called. No, sorry. This is called a perpetuity. Annuity. And I need to learn how to spell. Annuity. No, that's correct. Annuity. Okay, this is called a perpetuity. Perpetuity. And then this is annuity. Okay, and the perpetuity is very similar. Perpetuity. The annuity is very similar. We're going to be receiving $8, and then at some point it's going to cut off. Maybe we're going to receive $8 for like 10 years, and then after 10 years it's going to cut off. So one way of understanding this portfolio is just understanding it as you buy an annuity at time equals 0, and then after 10 years you sell an annuity, and they cancel each other out for $8. I think it's not too difficult to understand. The price of this is just, I guess it's the price of this minus, the price of this, except now it's after however many years. 1 over 1 plus R to the N, where N is like the 10 years, something like that. Okay, then finally there is a part on bonds. So what is a bond? A bond is, so it has some value. Let me see exactly what is used. Face value, F. And then a coupon rate. So a bond gives you sort of regularly priced you get regularly priced intervals, or like let's just say you get $100 every whatever, and then after however many years, you get the full price of the face value of the bond. So, how much should somebody pay for this? Well, you're getting alpha, right? So obviously, this has to be discounted according to interest rate, right? Because in the future, the amount you're getting paid decreases in value because of the interest rate, obviously. So, so yeah, whatever it is, it's like 1 plus, and then we use lambda, but I think lambda is like used as a every 6 months instead, because bonds are paid over 6 months instead of every year. So lambda over 2 to the power of k from 2t, and then finally we get the at the end. So this is its own term, and at the end we get a f times 1 plus whatever it is, lambda over 2 to the power of 2t. So yeah, so lambda is r over 2, I suppose. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. See you next time.